I know a couple. Young, beautiful, full of life. From the outside, everything looked like a dream. They got married at 18. Soon, their perfect love story filled Instagram. Sweet captions, hugs, smiles, a baby at 19. But what if I told you it was all a lie? Behind those perfect posts was a hidden truth. Recently, she admitted something shocking. For 2 years, she's been in love with someone else, and now she wants a divorce. She even said she's tired of being a mom and would gladly leave the child with the father, just to finally live her own life. Makes you think, right? So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like everyone on Instagram is living the perfect life, except you? Instagram is a showcase. We scroll through perfect smiles, big wins, dreamy vacations. But here's the truth. Behind every flawless post, there's a story you don't see. Burnout, loneliness, fear of not being enough. And the more perfect someone tries to appear, the more afraid they are to show their real feelings. The danger? We start comparing our real life to their highlight reel, and suddenly we feel like we're falling behind. You're 25 and haven't bought an apartment? Haven't launched a startup? Haven't traveled the world? So what? What you don't see is what it cost them to get there. Maybe someone saved money for years just to afford those perfect Instagram stories, cutting back on housing, food, and even their own comfort. No one's life is perfect. Everyone struggles. They just don't post it. And maybe that's the part we need to remember most. And here's what else you don't see. Some people had help from their parents. Some got lucky. Right place, right time. Sometimes it was the butterfly effect. A random encounter, one kind word, a tiny decision that changed everything. You won't see their starting line. You won't know how many tears, mistakes, sleepless nights, how much help, how many fears or inner battles were behind that success. Instagram doesn't show that. It only shows the result, not the price they paid to get there. You have your own story, your own rhythm, your own path. You don't have to rush. You're not behind. You're just building something different. Maybe your road is slower, but deeper. Maybe you're laying a foundation that won't crumble when the storm comes. And when your moment arrives, it will be yours. Real. Earned. So if you feel like you're falling behind, you're not. You're exactly where you need to be. Let me tell you something real. The saddest part is, many people lie to themselves. The desire to look like someone for others has become almost habitual. So much so that it is already perceived as a norm. And there are even courses built around creating the ideal image. But the biggest lie is the one you tell inside. Because you know the truth about yourself. You know that behind the glow, there's exhaustion. Behind the filters, fear and doubt. You know that the perfect look can be wiped off in one swipe of a napkin. But real beauty? It lives deeper. It doesn't need a mask. But why do we keep falling for the glossy picture? Why is it so important for us to be thought of as, well, that's life? This is where the fast dopamine, the brain chemistry that builds an addiction to approval, comes into play. Every like, every comment feels like a small reward. The brain gets used to this instant reinforcement, and we start chasing not meaning, but reaction. Not who we truly are, but what will get attention. People start to live for show. They do risky things for the sake of hype, overloading photos with filters, staging moments of happiness, losing touch with reality, just to get another dose of approval. And here's the most dangerous thing. You gradually start to lose yourself. You adjust so often to expectations, trends, other people's tastes, that you wake up one day and can't figure out what's really mine. What do I feel? What do I really want? You publish like everyone else. You dress like everyone else. You make choices that are, quote, right, according to other people's eyes, but not according to your heart. And this constant comparing and imitating creates anxiety, insecurity, the feeling that you are not real. The imposter syndrome starts to creep in. It feels like you're playing a role, fitting into an image, but deep down, you sense that you're not living your own life. It's like you're creating a character, forgetting that behind it stands a real person, with fears, desires, weaknesses, and true beauty. And that's when the main question arises. What should we do? How can we stay true to ourselves in this world of filters, trends, and endless comparison? Here are a few simple but important steps. Take a mindful break. Silence is healing. Delete the app for a day or two. Go offline. Let your own thoughts grow louder than the noise of everyone else's lives. You'll be amazed how quickly your inner calm returns. Ask yourself, is this really mine? Before you post, before you buy, before you speak, pause and ask, do I want this? Or do I just want it to be liked? That tiny moment of honesty? That's where you meet yourself again. Remind yourself, no one lives a perfect life. Sure, someone else may have a beautiful background, a big house, a perfect family, or success on display. But all those good things come with a price. Behind the scenes, there's responsibility, stress, sacrifices, and hard work that nobody shows. The value isn't just in having it all. It's in how you handle what comes with it. So even if your life doesn't look like a perfect Instagram feed, it may be freer, less burdened, and full of its own quiet strength. And sometimes, that's the greatest gift of all.
Reconnect with the world beyond the screen. Real laughter, warm talks, quiet walks, books that move you, music that finds you, moments of solitude that don't feel empty. This is where you come back to your center, to a place where you don't need likes to feel whole. Remember, social media is a tool, not a mirror of your worth. You are not an avatar. You are a human being, and that alone is more than enough. In the end, it all comes down to one simple but important question. Is Instagram something you control, or is it controlling you? Social media itself isn't bad. It can inspire you, connect you with others, give you a voice, but only if you decide how and why you use it. The problem starts when you lose control, when likes become your fuel, when other people's lives become your measuring stick, when you forget who you are behind the screen. So instead of mindless scrolling, ask yourself, what am I doing to stay true to myself, even with social media around? Are you careful about who you follow? Can you be yourself, even if no one hits that heart button? Do you remember that your value isn't in the numbers? Write about it, share in the comments, or simply answer honestly to yourself. Because true freedom begins with being honest with yourself.